Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we jump into things, do me a favor. I am having dropped frames alerts, so let me know if the network is shitting itself. Does everything look okay? Does it sound okay? Apparently, I've dropped 46% of my frames in the last 2 minutes. But looking at my bitrate, everything seems fine. I'm looking at my network; it seems fine. So just let me know. Let me know. Hopefully, it's not anything that's impacting anyone. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to twitch.tv/ice cream. My name is Graham Day, and this man who isn't wearing an ice cream uploads esports jersey today is that your Mandalorian t-shirt? That one?
No, this is one that Samantha bought me for Christmas like 2 years ago. I think it's an All Saints one. I'm not too sure.
Uh,
It's got a rose on it. It's very bland.
I mean, would I
Like
wear
very much like me.
an All Saints t-shirt? Never ever. No, never mind. It's all right. It's all right. It's all water under the
This is
bridge.
gonna be a long day.
It's all water under the bridge. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what I'm more embarrassed about: the fact that you actually know All Saints songs,
As if
or that you actually sing in them.
don't pretend you didn't. Don't pretend you didn't. God,
And honestly, I don't know one All Saints song.
honestly, I just told you two.
Hand on heart, there is a lot of shit that I listen to, and I don't think I've ever listened to an All Saints song. In fact, tell a lie. Are they the guys that did the Under the Bridge? But it was
Just
like a
I just said under the bridge. So I was
ah,
like,
okay.
I was like, don't worry, it's all water under the bridge. So there we go. There we
Ah.
go. But actually, I'm gonna put my mic down because I was moving stuff around yesterday. Okay, hopefully, mic's and shot. Does everything sound good? Does it sound good? It looks good. Drop frames now. You're picture perfect. You absolute smooth talker, Mr. T. Alpe, good morning. Enix, good morning. Chappers, good morning. Grazity, morning. Everyone, welcome into the chat. I only know Pure Shores. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, I bought that as a CD single. Quality track. That was class. To be fair. Fuck's sake, babe. Switch on. Says Alpe. Do you know? To be fair, he's already had me like pecking his head. I've had a coffee and I'm already on with a G Fuel this morning. So yeah, before as things started off, he had me singing Sean Paul song straight into his ears. So he's already trying to switch off. It's understandable. It's
I mean,
understandable.
this isn't a one-off, guys. This is every single morning when we call each other and get everything sorted for today.
Shake
Every
that
single
thing,
morning.
Miss Gonna shake that thing.
Uh,
Go, Annabella. Anyway,
great.
anyway, welcome to twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. My name is Graham Day, and this troubled man is the man that we call Baby. Together we are Ice Cream Uploads, and we're part of Ice Cream Uploads anyway. And in true ice creamy fashion, this is the Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. And some may say this is the UK's #1 video game podcast. We are that some, but it's fine. If you're in the chat, please feel free to say hello, like Alpi has, like Nassim has, and like Chappers has, using the exclusive Ice Cream Upload subscriber emotes. And there's a blue one with like writing and stuff in there that sounds a little bit like this.
Hello.
Hey, there we go. So feel free to use that if you are here. You don't have to, but you can. But do feel free to use your voice in the chat because we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on those biggest and the best and the breaking stories from the world of video games. And we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. We need to create a little bit of backwards and forwards, a dialogue, but it's important that you guys do get involved because we turn this into a YouTube video and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. That's on demand, so people get to fast forward, rewind, and do all of that fun stuff, but don't get to speak involved. They don't get to give us their thoughts right here, right now in the chat. So use that while you still can. Speaking of people listening on demand, I don't know, it's probably 6, 7, 8 p.m. right now, and OG Bibby is on his Peloton racing bike listening to Ice Cream Uploads on demand. So, hey, OG Bibby, you can't use your voice in the chat, but everyone else here can for you. I'm mentioning OG Bibby because he just tweeted at us on Twitter. So, hey, good morning. With jokes that bad, I'm going to need some black coffee. Hey, there's another All Saints song. I need my shh fix, so I bought the HD collection. Shh. I'm assuming that's Silent Hill. Should do the PC version with mods. Can't find shh 2 on PC though. Singing. Needed emote for singing.
No, we don't.
When I see the word singing with not capital, exclamation marks after it like that, it always reminds me of Elf. I'm singing. Yeah. But anyway, good morning, everyone. What did you get up to yesterday, babe? What did everyone else in the chat get up to as well? Feel free to let us know. But what did you get up to, babe?
As you'd expect, cheeky round of golf. In fact, no, I actually left here early during the scoop yesterday to go and secure my house, which has now been done. Everything's been sent off. I get the keys on the 20th, so we're all good to go. Then we celebrated by going playing golf, because what else would you do with your wife? Um, then done
No
playing a little
comment,
bit
everyone in the chat. Calm down.
And then yeah, it was a good day yesterday.
I agree with this sentiment. Please make it tier 1, though. Tell you what, you guys all go out and find us some new subscribers, and we'll just unlock more emotes then, and we can just throw it in for everyone. Job's good, and without losing any. That's fine. We just need about a bajillion more subscribers to unlock some more new emotes. Although Twitch has just added some new emote stuff for tier 2 and 3 subscribers, which I think is nice, but also I'm not about, because it's nice for us to get tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers, but you don't really get much more benefit than that in the chat. Other than now you obviously get more emotes, but I'd say just rather than spending $9.99, spend $4.99 and then do it for 2 months. Job's good, and we get support, you get support, you get the emotes. But anyway, tangents aside, I played PES, PUBG even on stream, in place of PES. Didn't give you one yesterday. Oh no, you don't get any extra emotes in that for now. It's only for tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers that you get extra emotes. So if you were a tier 2 and tier 3, you'd get that as part of it anyway. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, played PUBG on stream. Didn't get any wins. Decent fun time though. Anyway, went off. Did some exercise yesterday. I felt like I was absolutely dying because it was only a 30-minute session, but it was HIIT training, high intensity interval training. And literally after about 8 minutes, I'm like, there's still 22 minutes left. Like literally, my lungs were flapping out of my mouth like a dog's tongue out of a car. It was horrendous, but managed to get through it. Dropped frames detected 53% of frames dropped over the last 2 minutes. What? Nothing. None of my signifiers are showing dropped frames anywhere. So I don't get what the hell is happening there. We will continue. Hopefully, it still looks good for you guys. But yeah, anyway, I did go back to PUBG a bit later on last night. I had one more daily mission. So me and Jordan were playing. We had like finished top 3 as a mission. We didn't get that, so I just re-rolled that for something easy whilst I was off, just so that I could tick it off as another daily mission done. And I'll find the video. I managed to get the most easy but weird win I've ever had, I think, on PUBG. I've just seen it. Where's it gone? Damn it. And I can find. I've just got so many tweets about Baby's favourite ICU commentary session. Oh, your favourite ICU commentary session when we were in the ICU Invitational and the Red Men scored the world's most bizarre goal.
Yeah, iconic moment that.
You're goddamn right. So we will jump into the news in just a second, but this is the video clip that I posted to Twitter. It is a Twitter video, hence potato quality. But I'll talk you through it. So this is me with a Groza shooting some guy in the distance. Me and this guy have been having a sniper battle for ages. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to spray him with my machine gun. So. Oh, loud. Okay, he's dead. So I turn around and it's blurry as hell, but there's my motorbike, and over there is a dude sat in a doorway who hasn't noticed me. He looks like he's almost a bot with how slow he's moving. So I kind of think, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to reload. I'll line him up. He's gone back inside. He's come back out again. He's not seen me. I hit him 3 or 4 times. He goes back inside. So I thought, oh, well, I'll smoke him out. Or maybe even set him on fire with a Molotov. Molotov hits the building. All sets on fire. Fire spreads inside. And then... Hey! Grave Day kills him with a gas can. They didn't even mean to. There was a gas can inside that building. And if you shoot gas cans, they explode and deal like 70 damage. So this guy was already hurt. My fire just spread in, blew up the gas can and killed him. So, ta-da! Sat there at home just like... Hey, well, we'll take that. Anyway, that's enough PUBG kills. You get to see so many of those and wins occasionally, potentially. Not this week, though, so far. On Ice Cream Uploads. But let's jump into the news as we have a few things to go through. And not only that, I understand that a lot of you are here for the news, but a lot of you are here for Masters of the League. And obviously that didn't happen yesterday. So to confirm, for those of you that aren't aware, Masters of the League, our PES series, our management playthrough, will continue after this show. So if you stick around for that, you don't have long to go. And we're jumping into news now, so let's get on with things. The first bit of news, I think it's a doozy, which we already kind of knew it. We just had it confirmed yesterday. Written by Andy Robinson for VGC. Xbox has confirmed its July 23rd first-party games event. Microsoft set to reveal Series X games, including Halo Infinite. So Microsoft, super fast scrolling now. Microsoft has confirmed an earlier VGC report that it will hold its Xbox Game Showcase on Thursday, July 23rd. We obviously already covered that. It was rumored, but now it has been confirmed. The first party game showcase will take place at 9 a.m. PT, or for us, 5 p.m. BST, and include a 1-hour pre-show hosted by gaming personality Jeff Keighley, the platform holder, said on Monday. The July event will focus primarily on Series X games coming from Xbox Game Studios, but it will also confirm additional titles coming from third-party publishers, people with knowledge of Microsoft plans told VGC. Notably, Xbox will premiere the first Halo Infinite gameplay during the event, with the 343 shooter set to launch alongside Xbox Series X during the 2020 holiday season. New Xbox studio The Initiative, the company formed in 2018 by veteran Tomb Raider, God of War, and Uncharted creatives, will also unveil its first game during the July event, sources told VGC. Xbox had previously indicated that it would announce the Initiative's project sometime in 2020. And there we have embedded tweet from Xbox. I mean, the Xbox UK one is better because it changes that to 5 p.m. BST, but everything else is exactly the same. Xbox has significantly expanded its first-party games production ahead of the next console generation, and at least one franchise, RPG series Fable, is understood to be the subject of a revival at Microsoft's Playground Studio. Xbox Series X is scheduled to launch during the 2020 holiday season, and according to Microsoft, Xbox Series X will be able to play thousands of games thanks to its advanced backwards compatibility support, with older titles looking and playing better than ever before. Confirmation, babe. Thoughts. Oh, I've not even got you on screen because we've still got absent bib. He's back! Yay!
Yeah, there we go. Yay! 23 first-party games. I mean, we thought 13 was a lot in the last one. How many was in the PlayStation one?
It was about 25. Although they weren't all first party. Were they? I think some were exclusives. I'm fairly sure they were. I don't have my list. I don't know what a pad is. Is it this one? This is my on-branded gaming pad, Battlefield, but it's Battlefield 3. But yeah, no, not in that one. Is it this list? I don't know. Yeah, I can't find it.
Yeah, even if it was 25, we expect this to be around about. I expect this to be around about 2 hours, because there's going to be a lot of jibber jabber in between this. They're not just going to have a conveyor belt of games coming on your screen. They're going to be talking. You're going to be talking to the studios after each of the games been revealed. So I expect an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of jam-packed games showcasing stuff. I'm interested to see what the Fable is. I mean, it's something that me and you talked about anyway. I won't be able to watch this because I'll be moving house anyway, so I'll have to catch up on the fact and probably read some articles after it. So unfortunately, this is probably the one that I won't be able to watch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more from Halo. I'm expecting massive things from it. Probably not, because it's going to be the first one on the new console. I don't think many games are going to be absolutely straight out of the box, insane, and the best of its franchise. Straight after the consoles come out. I do think it will be decent still, but Fable is the one that I'm looking for. I want to see that game in all its glory. I hope it comes out later on next year and not as a launch title, but that's just me. They've already stated that there won't be that many games, if any, that come out from first party. Straight after the console comes out, they're going to say, what is it, 1 or 2 years before they start to churn out their own first party games, which I never understood because they're bringing out Halo.
It was exclusive, so generation exclusives. So Halo will come out cross gen, but it'll be a couple of years before we start to see exclusive games exclusively made for the Series X generation.
Yeah, so that's the thing that was kind of worrying me about it, because, well, worry is a wrong word. Like, if you're having Fable come out for both the consoles, I'm guessing it's just not going to be strictly Xbox Series X graphic powerhouse. It's going to be both different versions, isn't it? So it's going to be like a hybrid of them both. But yes, Fable is the one that I'm looking forward to more than anything. If I'm being honest, the Halo one, it does interest me, but as a casual Halo fan who will probably play a little bit, well, I was back in the day, Halo 3, mate, I was rinsing that, but that was then. This is now. Halo doesn't interest me anywhere close to as much as it did back then. So Fable is the one that I've got my eyes on. If all the rumors are true, and we're going to be seeing something from it.
I'm looking forward to this conference because I've not got my eye on Halo. Halo, I said my eye on Halo and then I said my eye on Halo. God,
Yeah.
I've not got my eye on Halo. There we go. I've got a H in there somewhere in the right place. So that doesn't have my attention yet. I've not got my eye on Fabled either because it's not really resonated with me. But I would like to see if they've got that many titles in one broadcast, then surely they will have something that resonates with me. I was actually listening to the Kind of Funny Games Daily, and Imran Khan said something that really resonated with me. And he'd said it in a way that I've kind of said before, but not confidently because I've not had any stats. And he didn't give any stats behind it. But if Imran Khan says something, it usually comes from a place of stats. But it was that Halo isn't a console seller. As much as Xbox fans might think it is, Halo isn't a console seller. The stats prove that the last few Halo releases have led to less and less and less sales. So Halo, in its current guise, obviously that doesn't include Halo Infinite because that's not current, that's future. In its current guise, isn't enough to sell a console. So they need to knock it out of the park with this Halo Infinite stuff. And it probably already is doing that for the perception of people that are Halo fans that have played the games previously. But I hope that this becomes the one that gets my attention, that makes me think, oh, actually, Halo Infinite does actually look pretty tasty, does actually look pretty good. It's not just the Doomslayer in a slightly different skin running around and so on. Obviously, not that the gameplay is the same, but anyway. But that, if that's enough to sell consoles, then you don't even need to factor on the huge fact that they have so many. What was it, like 23 games or something?
Yeah.
Does it actually mention 23 games?
It says it at the top of the article, doesn't it? Oh, July 23. Fucking hell.
Oh, I was gonna
That's
say
the date. Twat.
I was gonna say.
July 23rd. It's because it hasn't got the RD on it. July 23, first party games event. Okay, yeah, so it's not going to be 23 games. That's
I
just
mean,
me being an absolute dimwit.
even if it's half that, then that would be huge. Having 10 to 12 first party titles would be a big roster. If it's a quarter of that, then you're starting to get into the realms of, okay, is there really much here? And maybe that's why. I mean, slightly changing the tone of the pitch now. If there is only 5 first party titles, then maybe that's why other studios are now going to be in it. It's gone from being this exclusives Xbox Game Studios event to, but it will also confirm additional titles coming from third-party publishers, people with knowledge of Microsoft's plans, told VGC. So other people saying third-party titles will be in there. Is that because they have third-party titles of significance that deserve to be in there? So like maybe a first look at a FIFA or not even sports games. Maybe what was it? The thing that Microsoft leaked, the Star Wars Squadrons or whatever it's called.
Yeah, actually, well, it was two. There was two. One, the Star Wars Squadrons, and I can't remember what the second one was. They accidentally leaked 2 of them.
Yeah, we did
I
cover
can't
it,
remember what the second
but
one
we've
was.
slept since then.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe
For a
the way
while.
that Xbox makes up for that is by including them in there. So maybe we'll start to see some stuff like that in there. Games of significance that have some value for people that can add a bit of oomph to their showcase. I mean, 23 games would be nice, but I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's jump back in the chat. Yeah, boy, can't wait. Personally, probably the most hyped event. Phil Spencer has built everything up to this moment, and Jen. The most hyped event in what context? Mainly timed exclusives. Bibby, you could catch up on the scoop whilst you're. Hey, that's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Halo is going to blow everyone's head off. Halo is developed. The Series X is the core console. Everything else is downscaled. Halo is developed with the Series X as the core console. Everything else is downscaled. But is it exclusive to the Series X? No. So that point still stands. It's the only one that has been made. Nothing has been made exclusively. The most hyped event for this year, mate. You absolute fanboy. Take your hat off when you're talking. So in the last few seconds, Halo is going to blow everyone's head off, and this Xbox event is the most hyped event for the year. No, no. I would say the hype going into the PlayStation event was much more significant for than the hype going into this Xbox event. It depends on the circles that you're in. I've seen hype from both fronts, but the hype around the PlayStation event was undoubtedly larger. Not because people expected bigger titles, but because people hoped to see the console. That had much more pull than looking at any game. What is the console? How much is it going to be? What does it look like? Will we see it? That had so much more hype going into it than this. You need to see things rather than just writing things like that. You need to see it from other perspectives first. That it's not necessarily the most hyped event. It's the most hyped event for Xbox fans in that sort of sense. So yeah, and as I've just said, Halo isn't a console seller, so it needs to blow everyone's heads off. Not saying it will. I mean, it's not done that for the last 3 iterations of the game, so it needs to go above and beyond. It's more just the PlayStation event. It's more just the PlayStation event was for the showcase for the PS5 console. It wasn't though. It had games in there as well, but it was more hyped. That's for me. It's the most hyped event. I didn't mean for everyone. Yeah, but that's the point though. You say, in my opinion, it's the most hyped, rather than this is the most hyped. It's not the most hyped. The PlayStation had arguably much more hype around it because of everything else. I've not seen much hype for the Xbox One yet, aside from for you. Not the Xbox One, I mean the Xbox event. The Xbox, I've not seen much hype for the Xbox event yet. Chappers is arguing himself. Not the Xbox One, I mean the Xbox event. Sheesh. Not like this. Yeah. I mean, I have seen hype for the Xbox event, and I am hyped for the Xbox event. But there's no need for the sensationalist, divisive comments. This is the most hyped event of the year. No, it's not. That's what you've been told. That's marketing speak. That's purely from an Xbox point of view. We don't want to get one more advanced than the other. There is a large event that's going to bring us new content, new games, new titles, new experiences, and hopefully a fecking price at some point. Although I'm not entirely sure we'll see the price point in this game showcase either. But yeah, I mean, by saying those divisive comments, this is the biggest, this is going to set the bar, this is the trend setter of that sort of thing, then that's bringing the fanboy conversation that we want to keep away from. We want to have kind of like just a hands-off, this is cool, this is whatever. A more objective. We can have subjective stuff in there because we want a little bit of emotive behind it, but don't lead with emotive statements is what we kind of keep away from. Amboy, not Asim Tanvir says no fanboy. Boy, just merge the words. Asim Tanvir, or Tassim Anvir, depending on what he says right now, says no fanboy hat, getting both. Looking forward to seeing Halo as a fan and hopefully being surprised by some new things. Wolve, good morning, says right now is when I found out about the Xbox, that Xbox was having an event. But there you go. There you go. We will see, but as an Xbox fan, I'm hyped. Phil Spencer has been built into this completely after the brand was ruined by Dom Matrick. Graham, are you still mad at Enix from yesterday when he trashed your merch? I wasn't. I wasn't mad at him, but I was thinking, fucking how unaware.
Some fucking shirts, eh?
I wasn't. I was trying to flog some hats, but I was sat there being honest, saying the esports shirts are really good. The rest of the stuff is okay, and it takes time to come there, but it's cheap, so it satisfies a need. People can get our merch without having to break the bank. And John's going, yeah, shit service, yeah. Rah, rah. I was like, all right then, not bad. Why don't you just fucking have a big dump on one of our shirts or whatever? But he didn't mean that. He was talking from his own experiences. But I was like, all right then, well, you are by the process of deduction saying if anyone buys from the Gamers Apparel store where our merch is available, that Gamers Apparel will give you poor service. So whether it was meaning like that. Then yeah. Oh wow, lol. Fair enough. I'm out. If you act like hat. If you act like hat. Making use of my emojis when I can. Oh yeah, Jojo Lean as well got gifted a sub from Chappers yesterday. Once again, thank you very much for that. Yeah. Yeah, back to the point. The Xbox Games Showcase, July 23rd, 9 a.m. PT or 5 p.m. BST, is the 23rd of Thursday, isn't it? So we haven't detailed it yet, but that week is it's going to be a different week. We've kept obviously the scoop going all the way through lockdown. We changed the timings around, moved the afternoon, moved it back to the morning and stuff. However, we will have more details coming out. I think we did mention it briefly or tease it yesterday. The point was that Bibby is moving house. As he's mentioned, he's already been out, secured a house and everything. So Bibby won't have interweb connections and stuff. So we are going to halt with the scoop for a period of a couple of weeks. Starting from the week commencing July the 20th. So that Xbox conference, just by chance, is in the middle of point. I mean, we're absolutely not biased towards PlayStation whatsoever, but we're not covering the Xbox conference. No, we are. I will probably still do a live watch along of the Xbox conference from the 20th of July. We will have a period of 2 weeks where we don't have the scoop. So there will be a 2-week hiatus there. We will probably have other content in that, and that will be detailed coming forward. But we won't have the scoop covering the Xbox stuff, but we will cover it live on stream. Has Enix actually gone? Boo! What we're saying? No, Enix, don't go. We're just joking, Chief. Asim says, "Come back, Enix. We need Xbox balance to the Force." Exactly. Has he actually gone? Who was it that upset him? Was it the merch comment stuff? But anyway, bless him. He'll be back. He loves to fly the Xbox flag. It's fine. Speaking of Xbox flags, some games that potentially could be included in the conference, or maybe conferences before. This is a nice cheesy tangent if you're unaware of this. Is these Xbox is reportedly interested in buying Mortal Kombat and Batman Parent. We've touched on this before, but this updated article from Andy Robinson at VG says the platform holder is said to have joined the list of suitors for Warner Brothers Interactive. So Xbox parent Microsoft has reportedly expressed an interest in acquiring Warner Brothers Interactive, the games division behind Mortal Kombat and Batman Arkham Knight. Warner Brothers Interactive was first reported as being up for sale last month when CNBC claimed the firm's parent company, AT&T, was looking to generate around $4 billion to pay off some of its substantial debt. In a new report published on Monday, the information cites sources familiar with the situation who say that Microsoft has now joined the list of companies interested in a potential takeover. Electronic Arts, Take-Two, and Activision Blizzard are also said to have expressed an interest in acquiring Warner Brothers Interactive. If a sale goes through, many of the Warner Brothers IP tied to in-game development such as Harry Potter and Batman would not be a part of the deal, but could be licensed, CNBC sources said. Warner Games Division reportedly had big announcements scheduled for E3 2020 prior to the show's cancellation. According to Kotaku, Warner had been lining up a trio of high-profile reveals for the event where it was due to host an E3 press conference for the first time. These include a new Batman title, an open-world Harry Potter RPG, and the next project from Arkham developer Rocksteady Studios. I'm speeding through this last bit because we've kind of been through all of this bit before. But Warner Bros. Interactive also owns NetherRealm, Mortal Kombat TT Games, Lego, Monolith, Middle-earth Shadow of War, and internal studios based in Montreal, Boston, New York, and San Francisco. Over the past 2 years, Xbox has aggressively expanded its portfolio of first-party studios ahead of the release of the Xbox Series X during the 2020 holiday season. I'm just going to leave that there because that's clearly just all cheesy type stuff. So we've touched on this previously. We've spoken about the likes of EA. We've spoken about where was the list? EA, Take-Two, Activision Blizzard. Microsoft has entered the race. Bib, thoughts?
If I was still to take any of the four that were there, my hat would still firmly be on Take-Two. I'd much rather them take the IPs or the licensing to be able to create these games. However, I wouldn't be object to Microsoft actually doing something with them. If they could make a Batman game again in the style of Fable, but not obviously like Fable, because Fable is just like an RPG game. It's never gonna go down that kind of path. But I think Microsoft would put the care and attention into it as well to try and make it a decent game. And that's all I want. If there was to take a Batman game, I just want a decent Batman game. Nothing over the top, nothing too fancy, just a decent Batman game. I don't think that's much to ask for. So Take Two, I think, would be the best. EA would be the worst. Activision would do a decent job still, and I think Microsoft would do a decent job too. For all the Batman fans in the chat as well, I imagine Asim probably would be thinking the same. But still, Microsoft would probably do a good job.
I'm just updating the discussing now.
Yeah,
Xbox.
Wolvie says
Interesting.
anyone but EA. Exactly. I don't want EA. I don't want EA taking that Batman. No way. I'd never play it again. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a Batman game. I think if they had it, they'd twist it to something else. I think.
See, I'm not sure. I mean, I get the sentiment kind of behind that. They did a good job though with uh, Jedi Fallen Order. I do see them as a brand that is learning well too slow for a company that has so much money and so many resources, and not only that, so many good members of staff. It just seems like there's a few decision makers that are just so hell bent on profit that the hard work and dedication, particularly of the community guys and the social media guys and the people that you will interact with on a daily basis, um, they they're almost at loggerheads. The community guys and stuff and so on are delivering like passionate, um, uh, hands-on work, but that they're dealing with a direction above them that kind of goes against that. So I feel like EA could deliver a good Batman game. EA, I mean, not that Star Wars was perfect and not that it didn't have any bugs or anything like that, but I think that with their resources and obviously their staff and their expertise and so on, they could definitely do it. The issue is, would that be what we really want it to be? And I think that's where Wolvie and yourself have kind of come from in that sort of sense of.
Mm.
I mean, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt in that, but then again, let's go back to EA and they've done a good job with Jedi Fallen Order, but they absolutely killed Battlefront 2 for me because of that need to squeeze every single penny possible out of the game. And obviously, we would have to go into the loot box system scenario because we've done that a bajillion times and we'll do it a bajillion times more. But yeah, I understand where that hesitation comes from, wanting EA to get a hold of that. Because EA were trusted with Star Wars and ballsed it up before they did it better. Would they balls Batman up before they got it to the point of it being successful? And another one as well is not that Batman is a small brand by any stretch of the imagination. It's massive. But the thing with Star Wars, it was arguably bigger at that point in time because we've just got obviously we've had the films, we've had the games coming out. There was type and everything. It was what, alongside, was it episode 8 that it came out? Maybe I think, or maybe it was episode 9. Either way, Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out at a point where Star Wars as a brand had kind of like market saturation across video games, across movies, across TV or whatever. So and they'd been taken over by Disney as well. So when that kind of went wrong, there was an absolute kickoff there, which made EA fall in line and go, okay, shit, we have balled this up. We will fix it. We'll do a better job with Jedi Fallen Order. Is that EA learning in general across the market, or is that EA learning how to treat Star Wars? Would that same knowledge come with Batman? Because if DC go, yeah, nah, we're not happy with this, does DC have as much sway as Disney does? Disney has monumental sway. DC is a big brand, but Marvel wasn't as big as Disney. That's why it was bought by Disney. DC isn't as big as Disney. So would they be willing to be as careful with the Batman brand? So yeah,
I'd hope so. I think over the years, I mean, the 3 Batman games were, well, the first 2 were phenomenal. Would they treat it? Would EA give it the respect that I think it deserves? I think they would show it in the game, but I don't think they would make it as well. Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, again, out of the 4 choices that we've got so far, I mean, it's not as if it's going down to, you know, who wants to be a millionaire? You got 4 different questions. You can't phone a friend and they're not going to take it, kind of thing. But if I was to choose any of those 4, again, Take Two would be the place I want these games to go to. But yeah, I think all of them would give it the respect. It's just whether or not they'll be able to bring a decent story to light. Well, I suppose we'll have to tell in time will tell these things, won't they?
Give me 1 minute. My control key has just pinged off my keyboard.
How has that happened? You got ejection seat on it.
Chung! Yes, maybe.
Asim says they'd own all the Warner Brothers studios, though Rocksteady, NetherRealm, that's big. Grabbing established studios, the license would be worth getting. Don't see it being a problem. Wolfie says, EA, I mean, Enix is back. He says Microsoft wouldn't own any other WB license, probably just a few game exclusive. They would own a studio license, so Mortal Kombat, etc. Good chance to make NetherRealm Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct, obviously, I haven't played that for the longest time, but that was, I thought, way ahead of its time, way back when. Aston says Microsoft having all those studio exclusive would be big for them. I agree. I said that Microsoft would definitely be probably the second studio that I would want to have it behind Take Two. I think Microsoft would show it the respect it deserves.
So
Yeah.
away from who you would want to have them there, and same question goes to you in chat. Then, who do you feel is most likely to get them? Obviously, this lists out EA, Take Two, Active Blizzard. So Activision Blizzard, EA, Take Two, and Microsoft. Who do you feel is most likely to get them? Not who you would want. I mean, obviously, a lot of people would say Take Two. So it's a company that has a really good relationship with the fans, delivering good content, content that takes a shitload of money off fans, but not in a way where you feel like you're being milked. GTA is probably the most profitable game ever. I mean, I don't have the stats. I'm just guessing. And if it isn't, the point still stands. It makes a shit ton of money, but nobody I know that plays GTA feel like they're being fleeced. And that is the holy grail: getting content where people are happy to spend their money, but feel like they're getting value for that money as well. And Take Two do that.
The only other franchise that I can think of that has that model that they don't feel like they're getting fleeced is World of Warcraft. You're splashing out 30 quid for an expansion pack, and people are queuing up for that shit. Do you know what I mean? Because they're getting more game time out of it, and that's exactly what it feels like with the GTA model. Like people are throwing money at GTA because of the amount of content that it gives them. People don't want to leave that GTA online world. That is their second life for a lot of people. Very much like what World of Warcraft is like. There's no way if you get into World of Warcraft full time, you're spending 12 to 24 hours in a raid, and that's just for like a little standard one. You ain't doing like a 2-day raid. Mate, we covered this when we did the Red Bull stuff, and that was like a 4-day job. So having something like GTA where you're getting money for extra missions, new heists, and stuff like that. People are paying through the nose for that shit because it's giving them more opportunity to be in the world that they love. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Jumping back up then, EA are slowly starting to redeem themselves with their actual IPs like Star Wars now. Mad says, look how Disney has destroyed Star Wars. See, I don't necessarily think they have.
I was going to say
actually,
The Mandalorian.
Look at how EA have destroyed Star Wars, says Wolver. Yeah, I don't think Disney have. I mean, Mandalorian is a perfect example. I love the Mandalorian series. I think Disney haven't done the greatest job with the films. They could have done so much better. But a lot of people didn't like the original trilogy as well, and that was Lucasfilm. So I think they could have done better. Definitely, I don't think the worst things. Rogue One was a good film. That was a Disney film. So I think it hasn't been perfect, but I'm happy enough that there's been some stuff in there that is exceptional from Disney. Some stuff that's not, but some stuff that is. And yeah, if you can get some exceptional things in cinema, then that's often more than enough for me. EA are slowly starting to redeem themselves with their actual IPs like Star Wars now, but this is only after receiving incredible backlash from every single title they release. Yeah, and that's the thing though. I mean, that's kind of the point. I was kind of playing devil's advocate in there because I know the natural reaction from a lot of people would be to not want EA to have anything. But EA are getting better. As much as people don't want to say it, and as much as people will probably have a lot of evidence to say it's not enough, EA are getting better. And with their resources, if they nail something and do it well, EA can do something exceptional. Probably they have probably the potential to do something better than anyone else because of their money, their resources, and the studios and the caliber of titles and relationship they have across film, TV, video games, studios, whatever. EA has the potential, but obviously the devil's advocate bit is: would you want to give them the opportunity? Would you give them the rope to hang themselves? Because I mean, obviously, a lot of times they have done previously, and that's kind of where I was going with that one. But Wolves says, look at how they have owned the licenses and how many movies have come out since. Only one of those games is worth anything. Yeah, that's a good point. But I think is like the latest game that they've released. I mean, actually, Star Wars Battlefront, the first one was a really good game as well. It wasn't perfect because it didn't have a story mode, but it was good. So Star Wars Battlefront was good, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was good. Battlefront 2 was a waste of space, and I still to this day resent the fact that I bought the Deluxe Stormtrooper edition and played it for like 20 minutes. But yeah, they've got better. Is it at the point where are they getting better because the license is almost up and they need to renew, or have they got better because they've learned? And that's once again devil's advocate side of things. And it says Microsoft wouldn't own any of the Warner Bros. Licenses, probably just a few game exclusives. They would own studios licenses, so Mortal Kombat, etc. Good chance to make another round Killer Instinct, like you just mentioned. Killer Instinct was one of the biggest games for Evo 2020 this year. It has the best netcode in any fighter ever. Excuse me. Speaking of that, I mean, I was just talking about listening to Kind of Funny Games, and Imran Khan. Once again, he made a different comment. It actually wasn't. It was Tim motherfucking Geddes who made a comment saying, or maybe it was Imran. I can't remember who said it. One of them said it, and it was that Killer Instinct hasn't sold as much as it should have done, and that is it exclusive to Xbox or something like that, or does it have a bias towards Xbox or whatever? And because of that, it hasn't had as much embedding in the fighting community as it should have. Not that it's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but because it's tied to the Xbox brand, it's kind of almost like shot itself in the foot by having a smaller install base. Most of the fighting community is on PlayStation and so on, so being tied to Xbox in that sort of way isn't necessarily great for them. But then again, if you're tied to Xbox and so is Mortal Kombat, and that's because Microsoft owns Warner Brothers, I mean, that could be good for the fighting community and Xbox's relationship going forward. Battlefield was a polished turd with gambling sim. Yeah, Battlefront, should I say, was absolute Battlefront 2. The Old Republic and its huge cost and failure to stick with the public really hurt the Star Wars brand. I don't think they respect the IP at all. Sim's comment says they'd own all the Warner Bros. Studios though, Rocksteady, NetherRealm, etc. That's big. Grabbing established studios, the license would be worth getting. Don't see it be a problem. So this is the part. Oh yeah. This is the part where I asked who people would like, who people think will get the studios. Wolvie says EA most likely. Enix says Microsoft most likely. So huge chance to make some big games for their brand. It would push the brand forward. Other than that, EA would be sniffing. Madge says Activision. Hassim said I'd like Take-Two/2K, but think Microsoft most likely. Chapper says 2K are almost as bad as EA. Interesting. In what sense? I mean, I personally would. I don't know. I think if anyone's going to buy it, I could see Microsoft because the reason I talk about things like Halo not being a console seller, and I'm happy to push that narrative, is because it isn't. Not that I don't want it to be. I believe it's a good brand because so many people I know absolutely adore that brand, and people on both sides of the fence, or not even both sides of the fence. Not that Asim is a PlayStation fanboy. He's a both sides of the fence. But like Jordan likes Halo and he's an Xbox guy. Asim likes Halo and he's an old market guy. So there's definitely a lot of good stuff in Halo. But for someone that's not invested in it like me, Microsoft needs to add a little bit more. They need that je ne sais quoi. And having Warner Brothers and all of that and everything that comes there, so the potential licensing exclusives of Batman, another potential licensing exclusive of Harry Potter, or even just timed exclusives, or not even any exclusive in that sort of sense, but preferential treatment with DLCs or whatever it is. Having that adds another string to what is already a weighty bow. Microsoft has all of its pieces, like you get all of its ducks. You just need to get your ducks in a row, as the phrasing sort of says. Microsoft has a fuck ton of ducks with xCloud and Game Pass and really good options with Lockhart and Series X. Well, potentially we assume with Lockhart if that turns out to be a thing. So they have a lot coming already. Game Pass Ultimate, playing games on PC and so on. But having the titles and taking over that, I could see Microsoft going, oh, well, we threw a bajillion pounds at getting Ninja and Shroud for Mixer, which failed. This surely is more of a banker. Yes, it's a bigger economy of scale. £4 billion debt was what the studio has. So you're expecting this to be hundreds of millions, if not billions of pounds to purchase. But that's a banker for the future, especially when you get better access to IPs and acquiring the studios and so on. I could see Microsoft being the one that takes over this.
Yeah, I think that'd be the likely candidate. For being honest, I think they've got more money and the ability with the millions of studios that they've got to choose from to be able to take hold of it. I think that would be the likely destination.
I mean, Activision. Madge said Activision. Interestingly, and I don't know, maybe I've not fully thought it through, but my knee-jerk reaction is I wouldn't mind too much if EA took it over. I'd probably prefer Take-Two as well. Wouldn't mind too much if EA took it over if they keep the learnings from what they've done with Star Wars and they build the ceiling rather than them luckily making two decent games through it. If they've realised how they're starting to make good games and they continue with that, because Battlefront 2 was shit, and it's good now. I mean, I don't play it, and I probably never will, even though I kind of think, oh, do you know what? I should give it the benefit of the doubt. I know people that are playing Battlefront 2 now and saying it is wonderful now. It wasn't when it launched, but it is now. So Battlefront 1 was decent. Battlefront 2 was shit, but now is really good. Jedi Fallen Order, really good. Buggy, but good. So that's 3 games that make me think, okay, well, they're starting to pick up pace. They're going in the right direction. So I'd say the one that I probably least want to have it is Active Blizzard, even though they are learning with their in-game payment methods we've spoken about with Call of Duty and so on. But just the amount of negative press that we had November when we were talking about the Blitzchung thing with Blizzard, I find that less excusable than how EA have been treating the brands. But like I say, I've not really thought into that. So I'd probably want it to be Take-Two or Take-Two first, and then EA or Microsoft, and then Active Blizzard. That's probably the order that I'd put them in. Let's quickly jump back through the chat so we can move forward. I watched Last Jedi last night. I'm surprised to see Ed Edmonds in it. Bottom reference for everyone. I used to play. It was a one launch style. I used to play professionally for it. One of the best fighters going. If you get a chance to play on PC, it's amazing. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, being in the chat, and thank you very much for dropping that follow. Do you know what? That's good. I like it when people get involved in the chat and drop a follow afterwards. It's kind of like a yeah. Do you know what? This is worth it. Yeah. So cheers for that. Thank you very much. Or you just hit the button by accident. Either way, I'll take it. It's fine. It's fine. 2K used to be fantastic about 7 years ago, but they're releasing broken, glitchy, buggy games with microtransactions strewn throughout. The NBA 2K series is only praised because of the cutscenes and the story, but the actual game is a grind fest, and it uses their virtual currency to upgrade your player. And what do you know? You can buy that in the store for extortionate prices. And I think I can't blame them for that. I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's the market for me. I think they will change with that. I think they've obviously seen the amount of money that Mutts and Foots and what is the NHL one? Please tell me NHL is called Nut. I hope it is.
How has that just come to your brain?
I know. Just...
Have they, isn't it called like? No, it's not My Court or something like that.
Well, the my team is the NBA one, which is close to my club. But my team. I mean, I see where they're going with it. I mean, I get the point, but if it's what the competition are doing to get ahead, I understand them doing it. It took them a while to get to that point, though, which makes me think that they probably didn't believe in doing that from the off. But with the potential loot boxes sort of changes and things, the gambling sort of stuff. Not that it's gambling having currency in game, but I think that they might reassess that fast anyway because it took them a while to get down that path, which makes you think, did they really want to go that way? But anyway, People forget about Lego games. Would Microsoft get the Lego license or access to it? Sorry, Halo became. Good point. Good point. Halo became a standard for a lot of games these days before Call of Duty. Playing the multiplayer the other day on Halo 2 PC and so much fun brought back good memories of feelings of the games don't give. Halo 5 wasn't bad, but yeah, story wise, a lot of potential to hopefully they fix it. Battlefield 5 is terrible. Some aspects were good, but compared to 1 and 4, disappointed.
Don't agree with that.
I didn't mind it. I played it and I thought it was okay. But then again, I thought it was okay and didn't go back to it. So I didn't play it for long enough to give a full account. And I know a lot of people that have mixed opinions. I know Bibby likes it and Bibby streamed a bit of it. I know content creators who are mixed on it. So it seems to be quite divisive Battlefield. Some people love it. Marmite, there we go. Some people love it, some people hate it. Take-Two rep is less justified now with stagnation in their franchises and excessive gambling practices in NBA. I mean, yeah, but Mafia 2, mate, playing through it, mate. You've sat there and listened to the old school tracks. Nailed it. Gotta go. We're watching car. Drive safe. And do you know what? We're gonna start we have to keep it monotone. We don't want to distract you and go, damn. But drive safe. Thank you very much, Grazity. Didn't they remove the casino stuff from NBA? I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's still there, says Madge. No, Asim says, and it's still there. Gambling to get my Under Armour trackies. Okay, I don't know. Someone give me some more information on that. Damn, guess they will be soon, says Asim. Battlefield 4, said Wolf, it is the best Battlefield. Make a next-gen Battlefield 4 and a truckload of people would be happy again. See, I don't want Battlefield 1. I don't want Battlefield 5. And I'm very boring and monotonous with this. I want, wait for it, boots on the ground, modern day warfare. Get me Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, more Battlefield Bad Company 2. Get me that, and I'll be happy. But I've said that before, so I won't continue down that line of conversation. But good morning to Chucky Boy 1234, absolute legend in the chat. Absolute 100%. Don't go dropping any more gifted subs this morning as well, by the way. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Save your money, yo. Once again, Chucky dropping a gifted sub yesterday for Vern. See, this is nice. This is nice. I mean, whilst we do appreciate it, don't go overboard. Got 2 gifted subs dropped out yesterday. Chucky Boy and Chappers both dropping gifted subs in the chat. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice to have a supportive community like that. Very much appreciate it. I could get behind that, says Wolve. Bad Company 2, awesome. Love that, says Magic Man. Do you know, genuinely one of my favourite FPSs. And I said I won't go down this path, but I'm going to go down this path again. Genuinely. I know loads of games, particularly EA, want to have the spotting function in it now, but that was the first game to add that. And you got points for spotting people, and you got points for spot assists and things like that. And it was the first game to really promote that team play. When you got, I mean, COD, when you play multiplayer, it's pretty much, even though it's team deathmatch, it's a team of solos fighting against other teams of solos. More often than not, that's what it is. Even when you're playing the objective in games, it's still solo warfare. Bad Company 2 really counteracted that, and that's why I love that game. They literally have a gambling room, says Enix, with a link to a video. Oh, interesting. Let's check this out. People queue up in game. Let's load this YouTube video. Because Kevin De Bruyne stands there and it's Houston. Is it Houston Dynamos? Is that even a thing? Or am I getting it mixed up? Skip. Doesn't look anything like Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, I see what you mean. Interesting. Oh, well, as Asim says, you can count that out of the next game if the gambling and loot box laws. He does at 142. Okay, let's get past that. Let's go back. Oh yeah, I just skipped into it. Yeah. Houston Rockets. Oh, there you go. Is Houston Dynamos even a thing, or have I mixed 2 teams up there? Yeah, there's one called Ante Up where you wager other players as well. See, I'd be in here not spending any money. I'd just be dicking about in twitters like this. But that's just me. The spinning wheels, etc. I mean, that's understandable. That's understandable. I get that. I didn't realize. I mean, like I said, I've not played NBA since 2K14, so that's completely passed me by. Like I said, the fact that they've just got to that point makes you feel that it wasn't something they fully believed in, which also makes you feel it's something that they'll be quick to get rid of. So nothing illegal here, totally legit. Dynamos is probably something. If I feel like it is, I feel like it is. Maybe some, I don't know, baseball or something or other. I don't know. But yes. Well, anyway, does that whilst that's not great having that gambling stuff in there, does that show anything that's worse than what EA has done? Anything that's worse than what Call of Duty has done, or Activision Blizzard? I mean, in that sense, the only one that hasn't done that really is Microsoft because they don't make that kind of content. They make the consoles. So does that mean Microsoft should take it, or should they all just stop doing it and be a clean slate? American hand egg. There you go. No, it's all a disgrace. Yeah, that's the point. I think it's a disgrace ethically, but not legally. Which that in itself is a separate disgrace. So you can understand why they've all done it. Business sense. The ones that get rid of it and make the content first thing, that's where we give the benefit of the doubt to how quick and how well they get rid of that. That's probably going to be more of a measure of the act. The ones that try to hold on to it as long as possible, in the nature of profit, I think that will probably speak more than actually putting it in. Because you can't blame a company for sticking to laws and regulations when everyone else is doing it. To maximize profit, but the ones that will go, yeah, don't want to do it anyway. Let's go for this instead. The ones that do that quicker and first and more effectively, I think that will be a bigger measure of the character than the ones that have already done it. But anyway, let's stop talking about gambling because it's something we talk about all the time. Let's move forward quickly because we want to get into Masters of the League, and it's already been over an hour on this episode, so let's get involved. Next article. Actually, do you know what? Yeah, we'll stick with this on screen now. Cian Maher for VG247 says, Watch Dogs 2 will be free for people who watch Ubisoft Forward. Fans who tune into the Ubisoft Forward live stream this weekend will receive a copy of Watch Dogs 2 free of charge. I mean, I'll be watching it anyway, but that gives me even more incentive to do so. The main conceit is that it will only be available for PC players with access to Uplay. Okay, maybe I won't. In order to claim your copy, you'll need to tune into the Ubisoft Forward live stream at a certain time, at which point you'll be instructed on how to redeem Watch Dogs 2 for free. The news comes from the official Ubisoft Forward lineup reveal, which you can check out in the video below. No, we can't, because it's not there. A corresponding post was also published on the official Ubisoft blog and features specific instructions on how to claim your free copy of Watch Dogs 2. Don't forget to log in with your Uplay account anytime after Trackmania and before the end of the main show to claim a free copy of Watch Dogs 2 on PC. And to get a chance to answer trivia questions and win some rewards for a variety of Ubisoft titles, the post reads. The Ubisoft Forward stream goes live at 10:30 a.m. PST on July the 12th, 2020. The pre-show starts 30 minutes later at 11, and the main show kicks off at 12 noon. There will also be a post-show segment featuring a deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay, as well as Hyperscape match showcase designed to offer players an insight into Ubisoft's new Battle Royale FPS. If you're curious to know more, here's everything you need to know about Ubisoft Forward. Blah, 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 links elsewhere. Very simple. Straight to the point. We won't stay on this too much. We'll just keep things moving, but Ubisoft Forward is taking place. Is it this weekend? I did send a bib.
It's Saturday. It's Sunday, isn't it?
Is this the one that was at 8 p.m? I sent bib the time on Discord. Let me just check. Okay, it's not on my Discord. Nice. But yeah, 8 p.m. Sunday evening UK time. This takes place. So if you have Uplay and you have a PC and you want Watch Dogs 2, make sure you watch it. Make sure you have it all set up and ready to go because you could potentially get Watch Dogs 2 free of charge just for watching the conference this weekend. Depending on how Sunday pans out, I will be streaming this live, and depending if Bib's around, he may be streaming it live too with us as a live watch along. We'll see how things go, but the best way to be notified on that is just to keep your eye on our social channels. Exclamation mark socials in the chat if Chatbot is alive. We'll give you links to those. As Bibby furiously types away in the background. Let's move ahead.
Standard.
What the hell have I just opened here? Okay. There we go. Do you know what? We'll have a novelty piece, and then we'll have a piece that will drive food for thought into the next show. I think you can guess kind of where that's going. But the first bit of news is Tom Warren for The Verge, who says this tiny Xbox controller is designed for Microsoft's xCloud service. 8-bit do. I'm assuming that's it. Has worked with Microsoft 8-bit do. There we go. Has worked with Microsoft on this this miniature Xbox controller. Microsoft is planning to launch its xCloud game streaming service later this year as part of the Xbox Game Pass, and accessory makers are getting ready. 8-bit do is a company that specializes in retro and modern alternative gamepads, has adapted its retro NES controller for Microsoft's Project xCloud service. The tiny Bluetooth controller is designed to be compatible with all Android smartphones and tablets, and it's officially licensed as a compatible xCloud and Xbox controller. The built-in battery should last for around 18 hours, and there's a USB-C port for charging. The controller even ships with a clip to attach to phones with adjustable positioning. That does actually look pretty cool. Not a big fan of that picture. That looks pretty cool. 8-bit do, however, it's pronounced, has worked with Microsoft to license this Xbox controller and ensure it's fully functional with xCloud. There's even separate software that will allow you to customize button mapping and adjust stick and trigger sensitivity. The controller supports profiles that you can switch between for custom button loadouts. The $44.99 SN30 Pro for Xbox controller will be available on Amazon for pre-order today, with devices shipping in September 21st. 8-bit do's September launch date is unrelated to Microsoft's own launch plans for xCloud as part of Xbox Game Pass later this year. 8-bit do's Xbox controller is the latest in a long line of miniature and classic controllers. 8-bit do also created a $20 keychain controller for the Switch, a cute miniature controller for the Switch Lite, classic Sega Genesis controllers, and the retro NES controller. Interesting. I mean, it's nice, and it's not there. That looks horrible to me. Looking at that first picture, so this bit here, kind of, it just doesn't look ergonomic. I like a SNES controller because I grew up with a SNES controller, but SNES controllers, the reasons the Xbox controller, let me kill Chrome for a second. The reason the Xbox controller has these bumpy bits that stick out at the bottom, and the PlayStation has the reason they follow the same form factor is because that's ergonomics. That fits more comfortably into your hand. Having that round controller design doesn't fit as well. And you've seen all sorts of like third-party aftermarket with Lost Bib, third-party aftermarket controllers that have these like just simple round shapes because it's functional, easy to do. They keep out of the way. It's small. But if I'm playing my Xbox xCloud games on the go, I don't just want comfort and small and so on. So that does kind of like make me think, is it going to be uncomfortable to hold for a long period of time, or for a reasonably long period of time? This, don't get me wrong, in this graphic looks really nice, looks really sexy. That just looks like it's going to be, this part of your hand down here is going to ache like a motherfucker after an hour of playing it. Going to hurt your hands, just like Switch Joy-Cons, says NX. That said, the narrative behind it, the fact that xCloud and Microsoft are working with component manufacturers to create specific hardware that's made for your phone to allow you to access xCloud on the go, that does excite me. The idea that I can play my console games anywhere is huge. That's the reason we have Stadia. Rip. That's the reason we invested in such a horrible piece of kit, because we expected the future and we haven't got it yet, and Microsoft clearly are working towards that. So it's good. I like it.
I was actually trying to find my Nintendo Wii controller that goes into the bottom of your goes into the bottom of your Wii remote. That looks exactly the same as that. I've got two different versions. I've got the Wii Pro version, and then it is very, very similar to that, but I can't find it anywhere. It might be in my games box under the bed, but that's very comfortable, and it looks exactly the same design. That has to be quite heavy to be able to have your phone attached to it as well. So I think the balance of the weight may make it a lot more comfortable than the Nintendo Switch versions.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if you think having your smartphone mounted on the top of your console, on your controller, kind of like that, it's going to pivot. You're holding it, and it's going to be pulling it forward. So you're naturally going to have to hold it up a little bit, and that would be physiologically more strain on the underside of your arm. Not that it's heavy, and not that it's like obviously massive labor, but it just doesn't add that level of comfort unless you're playing with your hands on something. Say you're at a desk or something, you're holding onto it. That takes some of the strain off it and puts it on your wrists and stuff itself. Then, but there's a lot of science going into ergonomics. I mean, in terms of having split keyboards and having raised keyboards and having the ability to split your keyboard so that you can have your hands rather than typing on the keyboard with your fingers out like that. Having your hands turned in because that's your natural shape for your arms as you're typing. So a keyboard in a C sort of shape. And there's been a lot of advancements in controllers. Like I say, using that sort of round SNES shape is biologically or not biological. What's the word I'm looking for? Whatever I can't remember the scientific word. I've used it already. It's about the shape of things. It's not the greatest shape for things for how things should be. But like I said, the underlying process, the fact that Xbox are investing in officially supporting and endorsing these, that is good for me. I'd love to imagine it. Me and Bib sat on a plane, not on a plane because we won't be able to do it on there. Me and Bib sat on a coach on the way back from Resonate. Rather than playing PUBG Mobile and getting chicken dinners left, right, and centre, I must add. Rather than playing PUBG Mobile, we could be playing PUBG full on PC console spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would be.
I just put a link in the chat there for people. That's the controller I've got. I just can't find it. I think I've put it in my box because I've got one of the Wii Pro controllers. I can find it. There's got fucking wires everywhere that needs to be sorted out. I've got one of these ones as well, and that's the one that I use when I'm playing PES on my Wii, because the PES Wii is phenomenal. For those of you who haven't played, so I use that one. But I have got one of them smaller versions as well that I think's under the bed.
Yeah. So on screen now is the smaller version, which is just like a round and rectangle, I suppose is the best way to describe it in terms of its overall form factor. The Pro one is the one that has the sort of legs that come off that your hand holds. The Pro is ergonomic, that's the word, but is the better design ergonomically in terms of the shape of your hand, taking the strain off it and so on. So having things that have those legs that controllers have now is undoubtedly better for me generally overall. But yeah, even still, whether it's not quite where I want it to be shape wise or what, the fact that Xbox are getting involved in supporting controllers specifically for xCloud shows you that they're serious about building the streaming tech for the future, and that's the bit that excites me. And then, okay, let's move ahead. One final bit of news, and it's actually quite a big story potentially for obviously who we are, what we play, where we come from. And this news, like I say, will lead straight into what we stream after this, as eFootball PES 2021, Konami loses the official licenses of Milan and Inter. This is from FifaUltimateTeam.it. Konami, through a press release, appeared on the official website, has announced it has terminated the partnership with two of the most important teams of Serie A, team Inter and Milan. So the official statement, back off with your adverts, the official statement from FC Inter: our licensing contract with Inter Milan will not be renewed. The representation of the club will not be affected in eFootball PES 2020. This will not affect your acquired microplayers and can be used as normal in-game. In regards to other Konami football games, please wait for future announcements for each title. FC Internazionale Milano have been a strong advocate for the football PES, the eFootball PES series. We wish the club all the best in the future. Moving forwards, we will continue to strengthen existing partnerships and foster new relationships in order to provide the best possible eFootball experience. And then the official statement on AC Milan. Almost exactly the same, apart from change FC Internazionale Milano with AC Milan and FC Internazionale Milano with AC Milan. So, from reading that, PES 2021 will not have Milan and Inter within the game. You kind of have to feel that is a FIFA response to the what are you not Udinese? What are Juventus called in FIFA? Piemonte. Yeah, you kind of feel that that's a return shot from the bows in response to the Piemonte FC kind of thing. Big news for some people, not if you're Ice Cream Uploads and you have fully modern PC Master League, where the San Siro, Inter Milan, and AC Milan will continue to be for years and years to come. But yeah, there you go. Konami loses the licenses of Milan and Inter. Both were partner clubs, but they won't from looking at this, appear to be in PES 2021. More details, no doubt, will come over time. But we're approaching that point of the season. If anyone's surprised by this, then yeah, where have you been? This happens all the time. We always lose licenses and get new licenses at this this time of year. But it'd be interesting to see what the process is going forward. But no FC Inter and no AC Milan. So there we go. But anyway, we will leave that there as we get prepped to play a game that does have FC Inter and AC Inter as well, as we start our Masters of the League journey. For this week, we have Monday's episode on a Tuesday. Who knew? We did, because we told you yesterday. So stick around. We are going to wrap things up. We're going to go offline. We're going to get the green screen and everything in place, and we're going to come back and invite you all to step inside the ICU arena as Ice Cream Uploads continue their run in the top flight of English football, at the top of the league, I might add. So feel free to stick around. It's a bit funny when FIFA takes shots with the license at PES, although as though the patches and option files and mods don't fit this stuff anyway. Yeah, 100%. The funniest thing was seeing a lot of FIFA fans last year angry at PES for ruining football, for taking the license of Juve so they can't play as Juve on the game, which was obviously comical to begin with, because obviously PES players can't play as the majority of the Premiership because FIFA has taken that. So it's kind of like, okay, that one versus the entire league, really? But you guarantee that those people that were kind of shouting at PES because their game didn't have teams within it, they're going to be the ones that are going, yay, look at that, we've got these now, in response to them. So yeah, it's people don't really care about what they're saying. People care about themselves, is the gist of it. And that's the case. That's fine. But luckily, the PES community does have people that care for other people, and that is the editing community. So if you don't have AC Milan, and you don't have Inter Milan, then you can guarantee the likes of Chucky and everyone else out there that do the editing work will ensure that you can get that stuff in your game anyway. So who really cares? Who really cares? It's a bit funny. It's not like in FIFA where they can't be patched back in without a full-blown PC mod. 100%. There you go. Speaking about PC mods, as I said, we're going to wrap things up. We have the PC modded Master League following this. But before we jump into that, Mr. Bibb, anything you'd like to add to the conversation?
Not for today, anyway. Like I said, if you are sticking around for Masters of the League, that'll be going live soon. Then do feel free to do so. But in terms of video game news, that is it for us today. If you do see any video game news that's knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do feel free to get in contact with us if you want to wear your voice and opinions. You can do so by following us on Twitter, which is at Ice Cream Uploads across absolutely everything. Discord, the links may be going into the chat in a second. You'll be able to go in there. They've got a nice little section called The Scoop. Just drop in your thoughts and opinions as well as the article, and we'll feature that on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m.
Ish.
But that's it. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Thank you, Wolvie, for the follow as well. After getting involved in the conversation, it's nice to have a new name in the chat. Thank you very much. As mentioned, we are going to drop off. Feel free to linger around in the channel if you want. It'll probably be 10-15 minutes before we get back on. We need to get green screened and fully prepped for a few hours of PES Master League content. So feel free to linger. We will come live. If you do want to disappear, though, just hit follow on the channel now, and you'll get notified when we go back live anyway. But that's it. Also, if you're a subscriber, as Grazit has just done, feel free to use the exclusive emotes to sign off, as we always do at the end of the show. So have yourself a fantastic day, and if you're not back in 15 minutes or so, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.